Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the Component Cast. It is our first episode of the year here over on the Component Cast, which is wild to think about. And we are back with the Tuesday Cruise Lancer. But in more details, Roach, what is Lancer?
Lancer's a game.
Cool.
It's a role-playing game where we,
Roll credits.
you fight in mechs, and it's got a lot of different tropes around it. But it's more specifically, it's made by Massive Press, and it's available for purchase on their website and their itch.io page. A free version is also available, which you can just play the game from, as well as a lot of their just various other expansions / I guess pre-written adventures, etc., that are available on their page. So go ahead and take a look at it. It's $25 for the actual full rule book, which has all the art and lore in it, which I'd say is worth it. I don't think the physical copy second run is now available anymore. I'm pretty sure it's sold out. So
Nice.
If it is available, I don't know about that. But yeah, go take a look.
And Mikey, do you have anything to share?
Well, I do indeed. So one of our alumni, actually, of the Component Cast, Discourse Miniatures, has created a miniature horror game called Black Blood. It's about shadowy conspiracy theories. It's about shadowy conspiracy theories, vampires and witches fighting each other during the end of the world. If you want to get involved with the playtest, go to our Twitter and check out the pinned tweet. That's at Discourse Minis. And you can check out our artist who's done all of our character portraits. So any of them that you see below our faces here later on during the game, during the little intro that Midge is going to run. Her name is Mila, and you can find her on Twitter and Tumblr as Bi Space Creator. B-U-Y Space Creator. Not bi as in the sexuality, bi as in purchasing.
There would be a you in that.
That's true. There'd be a me in it.
Heyo.
You can find all of our shows and individual podcast channels where you can find them by searching the show's titles. So if you want to find this, you can find it by searching Lancer. It's Just Business. If you want to watch any other ones, search by the name. You can find our Dungeons & Dragons show, the Elendor Chronicles, our Urban Jungle show, Trikoga Nights, our Zweihander show, The Great Schism, our Lancer show is Just Business, and our specials, including the Elite Dangerous Rival Soul special, the Goodies for Goblins Red Move special, the House for Time, Midgeman special on Podbean, Player FM, Podchaser, Listen Notes, Boomplay, Apple Podcast, Overcast Podcast, Castro, Castbox, Podfriend, and new one, Podcast Addict. If you use that, you can find it on there now as well, and Good Pod apps. Shows released on YouTube. No, I did not. Shows released on YouTube and the podcast channels at 12 noon GMT, Friday for Elendor, Saturday for Lancer, and Sunday for Cyberpunk. Please remember to turn on your auto downloader for your preferred app, and be sure to leave a review and share it with the people who are equally as nerd.
Well, without further ado, I think all we've got left to do is to get on with tonight's episode, the first episode of the year.
Okay, so I'm going to do the recap this time. It's been a while since we last played. Calendar year has passed.
True.
Boo.
Yeah, I know. But we last left off our intrepid squad, crew, bunch of misfits. They had just finished a mission, and for context of that mission, they had been sent out to try and find and retrieve some POWs that had been taken on the first day of the invasion of this planet. A Lancer team and the air crew along with them, or at least the majority of the Lancer team. Through a lot of very good tactical decisions, strategic decisions during the mission, and a lot of good recon, the team was able to find where these POWs were being held. as well as a lot of enemy communications and some more ominous communications they found very deep down in comm logs. And they, pretty much without a hitch, were able to get these POWs along with one, well, I guess, get these POWs back onto their side and then bring them back, freeing them, and then actually capturing one POW who was hiding amongst the POWs. So that was an interesting twist. But on the way back from the mission, they saw a flight of enemy aircraft that was bearing down on the city, and more specifically bearing down for the forward operating base in which they deployed from forward operating base Rapier. And through some very bad dice rolls by the defenses and various other NPCs on their side, only one of the aircraft was shot down, and the rest deposited their payloads, unfortunately, on the base and around the other diversionary operation, Long Pass, in the city. We left off with our players cresting the hill, looking over the forward operating base after it had been hit and seeing the destruction. And so we'll go right into that. So you're all in this convoy, essentially, or protective screen for the convoy of APCs that hold the ground troops and POWs, with the other two Lancer teams that are with you. The base in front of you has a couple of smoke like columns rising from it. You see a couple of fires here and there. The wall defenses are still operating. You can see them scanning, but there is a hole now in the outer curtain wall, as well as some damage interior to the interior of the base that you can't exactly get an angle to see from your current position. But it doesn't take long as you crest the hill for you to get a call. Oh, wow. That was just air. There was nothing on.
Maybe drink some water then.
Yeah, that'd be a
Roach
good
is
idea.
struggling with air.
The spicy
Yeah.
air
Water's the
got him.
best call.
My
Spicy air got
body's
her.
finally falling apart.
Yeah,
It's not-
the spicy air got her. It's done.
Yeah. Oh fuck. Yeah. So you get a call from the from what you only assume to be the guards on the front gate, requesting a IFF flash from you to confirm before you approach closer. And you do see those wall guns are pointed at you. And
Stay away from the light.
shut up. So yeah, you receive that over your radios, and specifically the individuals that are calling definitely sound strained compared to previous interactions you've had with them. Sorry, I took a drink. So does anybody answer them?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Hi.
Yeah, we are
Yeah.
playing a game.
Oh, you were doing so well. You were so engrossing.
That's a lie. So,
Base, this is Demon. Copy.
go ahead.
Inbound with Hammer and rescued victims.
All right. Please approach.
Yeah, don't shoot us, all right?
Yeah, you don't get a reply to that. And You see the wall guns. Unlike previously, the wall guns, at least the two closest ones to the either side of the main entrance, are still tracking. But all the rest of them are now doing an active scan like they do previously. So it's definitely get a sense that this is a much higher level of alert than previously.
Locking the barn door after the horse has bolted.
Maybe I think I get that analogy. But yeah, as you approach and you get closer, from your kind of the angle that you're approaching in the main gate, you don't see a lot of damage on this side of the base. The walls look pretty much intact. But as you enter, and obviously because of like security reasons, there's a little bit of a like reinforced switch S shape to stop, like, you know, nobody can get a straight shot even if they like ran down the gate. You exit into the main area interior, and that's when you see the actual aftermath, let's say. So the outer wall on the opposite side from the entrance has now been definitely gutted. About maybe, say, there's a clear hole about 15 meters wide. Not like uniform, there's still bits and chunks here and there, but it's essentially no longer a wall. It's effectively defending anything on that side. There's evidence of impact craters in a few different areas. You see one of the buildings has just a whole side wall is caved in. The majority of the structure is still there, but just like the whole side has like sheared down. The artillery pit that was constructed not too long ago and had been actively supporting Long Pass is now just a whole bunch of hunks of steel and smoking. Like, fire has been put out, but it is still obvious that there has been a fire. And past the structural damage, you see just the impact of onto the personnel. The main medical area is no longer a tent. It's been made a prefab structure has been constructed to house any wounded and the like. But the old medical tent has now been re-erected nearby and is now being used as a triage center. As the medical prefab is like overloaded. You can definitely see like there are people like on the lawn in front of it, like being like waiting for the chance of getting in there for more detailed work. Yes, go ahead, Spanner.
Okay, given that we are in the future, is like giving blood and things like that still a thing, or is it all artificial?
I'd say it's still a thing. It's not necessarily. That's a good question. I'm not sure what the lore on that is. I don't think there's anything minutia like down to that level that exists. So I'm gonna make a judgment call. I say probably it's not like as common as it is nowadays. Like, in nowadays, it's basically all you really have is somebody, either you're doing like plasma or something, and it's usually a donation, like event. At some point, somebody gave this. That probably nowadays you can be made artificially, and there's probably a large sum of artificial available. But if necessary, there are still people are essentially, at least in this case, walking blood bags that can provide just needed blood. So that probably, I'd say you would see there is a collection point that has been set up for people that have certain blood types that are in short supply. There's definitely people that are having blood drawn right now, or even the odd person like doing an active live transplant, or not transplant, transfusion. That's the word.
Okay. Are you finished?
Are you asking me, the
Describing
GM?
Yeah, I'm asking the GM whether she has finished describing the scene, or if I just
Right.
interrupted.
I was in the middle of it, but I'll let you know. Keep that in mind. Keep it in mind. I do appreciate it, though. Past that, you also see there are mechs from a few of the Lancer teams that were previously assigned to Long Pass that are obviously have been in combat from damage they have and from the damage that is able to be seen that they've sustained, but they're not in like a repair point or anything. They're actively helping as much as they can help. Ones that have like fully articulated hands and the like, or helping to like move rubble or like manhandle hunks of hull from vehicles that were caught in the blasts, like into like a kind of a big pile kind of thing. Like, so there's definitely other people helping. I'd say maybe about like three other mechs around here that are currently doing that. And then yeah, just other than that, it's a much higher alert level, as you previously saw. There's essentially enough people actively guarding the breach and the wall, but just more than normal, but as minimal as possible, so that the rest can be used to kind of triage this whole situation and try and get everything into order. So now I'm done.
Demon,
Yep.
unless you need me, I'll be in that triage tent.
Take Padre with you.
I think he's already gone.
Good.
It's empty. It's just an empty mech standing right next to
it's
No, like we turn to look where his mech is, and it's just that like burp, burp, burp,
it's
gone.
putting up
Yeah,
a second tent.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a cloud of dust in the shape of his mech.
Yeah.
We heard the Roadrunner like running sound effect, and then nothing.
I've kicked open like the little locker that's next to my thing where I have like a couple of kits of like, what's it called? What is the actual name for it? It is corrective.
Patches.
Yeah, patch. Well, you guys carry your patches. I carry the corrective, which is the little flats of nanite and stuff. And I've got my stethoscope because those haven't gone out of fashion. And I'm just gonna run over to any of the like aides that I recognize, any of whoever's running the triage area, and say what help do they need? Where do they need me?
Oh,
And
yeah,
I'm
you
behind
definitely.
him.
Yeah, you definitely have gotten to know a few like nurses and just general medical orderlies.
If I remember, I had endeared myself to the head physician here as well, because they gave us extra supplies for the mission, and I can return those because we didn't use them. So I'll return those as an extra thing to help. Right now, they need it more than we do, and Padre would not be selfish. And then I'm going to be like, well, where'd you need me? What'd you need?
Okay, yeah. You definitely are directed towards the triage tent, as opposed to the medical like building.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And so and they're just they're asking you to aid. Like, they've kind of gotten a sense that you have above average medical knowledge. Like, you've definitely you're not like you haven't gone through like the basic medical course. You're like the advanced, like, but not advanced like medical. You're like the in between, like kind of
The
medical
mediocre
knowledge.
medical course.
The ace the intermediary exams.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in the army, it's like, isn't it like it's combat lifesaver and then a medic is like the two levels. So you're kind of right in between that because you're not technically either.
No. I would put my character's medical knowledge down to a backstory element of probably when he was sent on mission as a priest to a poorer planet off-world where there was medical emergencies and not doctors.
Yeah, spreading the word of the one.
Do you like my new Mech's name, by the way?
I saw it.
Do you like the reference?
I saw it. Yes, I know.
Spanner is basic, so if anything, she would help tidy up or at least keep things clean.
Yeah, that's kind of the sense you get. Padre, you're tasked with like aiding when they need to like set an arm or a leg or something, or like be secondary if they need to like quickly close someone up or make sure somebody's not like gonna die right that second kind of thing. Like, you know, nothing. Whereas
tightening tourniquets, that kind of thing.
Yeah, or checking to make sure, or checking that the tourniquet is let off like at certain times, because again, you can only do it for so long before it needs to be, the pressure needs to be relieved on there. That's a tip for everybody for safety wise if you ever have to put one on. Yeah, Spanner, you're more like, yeah, you're doing like kind of orderly stuff. You're bringing fresh bandages, you're taking dirty ones, you're a gopher essentially. You're if somebody tells you to get something, you're going to get something. Or if you have a spare time, again, the blood donations are a thing. I don't know if you've denoted your blood type or not. Yeah,
I believe
I'll
I
pretend to be universe.
Universal. Okay, universal donor.
I'm a universal recipient because I wrote that down.
Yeah.
An AB negative, I think it is, right?
No, AB neg's the rarest. I'm pretty sure. I think it's AB positive.
I don't remember.
No,
but whatever
AB
one.
negative.
AB negative is the one that can't receive anything. No, can receive everything but can't give to anyone else.
Yeah, so universal recipient, not universal donator.
Yeah. I think you're right. No, that would be so yeah. If anybody gets the urge during this time to provide aid, they can donate blood, or if somebody's in dire need of it, can also be a live transfusion kind of situation. Which it's not a common thing, but there's at least one or two of those you see at some point throughout this. Just people that absolutely need it. And yeah, what are that's what those two are doing. What are the four rest of you doing?
I was going to hand over our charges to whatever security forces there were.
Okay.
And then pretty much just order everyone to help out where they could.
Okay.
Well, I got a more kind of overlook of where our use could be actually more effectively used. So kind of just fill in where you can, and I've got a better idea. Focus it.
Yeah, get a better idea. Yeah. For giving away your charges, that actually is done pretty quickly after you enter. Like a internal base security for unit comes to meet you. Well, meet the APCs, but as you're the kind of lead of this op, they also double check with you. But it's a small force. It's mostly just the armed people in this little group are just for the actual POW. And there's a couple of other individuals here that look to be more like administration individuals and maybe like intelligence or some flavor of that, and they're just along with maybe honestly they would have had a medic here to like look over the recently brought back into the fold flight crew and pilots, but there's not enough. There's nobody spare for that, so they're kind of just left on their own with that. But they're kind of brought in to be questioned to make sure they're okay or what they said or any intel they were able to provide. And the prisoner is taken away. And yeah, you see basically the same thing that you were planning being done with the other two teams and the infantry in the Hudsons. They start kind of less dispersed, more as like actual units, but they are going their separate ways to help with like a cursory, like letting you know they're doing it, but they're not. It's kind of like they're not asking as much. They're going to help. Is what you get a sense of. But yeah, so you hand those over, and yeah, where would you like you for, or where would any of you want to go for help, or what would you want to do?
I'll tell you this: Oleg immediately, with good intentions, seeks off to. Oleg's got one of the, I don't know how many big mechs we have in the AMS, but he's size 2, which means he can presumably lift more. Yeah. Would be better suited for moving rebel and such, but due to the fact that they've been on mission for the better part of several hours now, Oleg is going to seek out to help and immediately just, probably in the middle of lifting something heavy, hop out of his mech and start looking for something to eat. When baser instinct takes over and he just starts scrounging for food.
Right. Probably the best you're gonna get is whatever extra rations you had on you, or a nutrition cube.
That's fine. He's just looking for something that he can shove into his mouth for within the next like 5 minutes.
Right.
Cube snack.
Okay. Yeah. You find a nutrition cube that you just pick up.
Somebody at some point is going to just see like Oleg's mech like holding up a piece of construction material. The cockpit is open and Oleg is just sitting on the end of the ramp, just like eating one of the nutrition cubes.
Yeah, you get milk.
Milk. Oh, great. Milk.
It's quotation. It's quote milk exclamation point quotation, and it's in asterisk.
Where that
font.
milk came from, never ask.
What specific milk it is? Yeah,
I forgot that we rolled for that, but I'm glad that I've been reminded now that we roll for that to see what flavor it is.
Mage, you 100% know what I'm thinking right now, don't you, with milk, right? Considering the show we've watched recently. Yeah.
I don't want to know.
I don't either.
So, okay. All right.
So exactly the opposite of what Roach requested. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have to. But yeah, you find that you chow down on that. That's more of like a kind of, I guess, like a Jello consistency, like a little bit firmer than a Jello.
This is the worst vanilla pudding he's ever had in his life.
Yes. But
look
yeah,
at Midge's face.
I think a lot of people forgot I made that chart.
I did until you mentioned it. I'm like, oh, thank goodness. No, that's right. The chart exists.
The chart. So yeah, like finds milk, the cube, and goes back to work afterwards.
We'll get back to work and actually assist in cleaning up the base and moving things around.
Yeah, you're kind of just directed towards the bigger stuff, along with Fingers, who just got back. So you're both in size 2 mechs. Mm-hmm. And what they kind of want you to do is they want to help you. They want you to help like move the kind of rusted out, or again not rusted out, burnt out like artillery pieces that were in the pits in the base. They want those moved in kind of like where the rest of the kind of vehicle hulks are, because they're big and they're kind of awkward to move without the proper equipment, and they don't have the proper equipment on hand right this second. So you guys can kind of, either it's kind of like a team thing, just because you have to lift it in certain ways and keep it from undoing it. So it's kind of perfect for that. So that's what Oleg's doing. What is Reaper doing?
Well, Reaper's probably one of the lighter built Everests because of his whole sneaky beaky stuff. So he does have, I'd assume the Everest has hands.
Yes.
But he also has the mag clamps that are on it. I need to just check the old sheet. Good thing we still have that.
The old sheet.
The old sheet. The old mech. So yeah, it actually has both high stress mag clamps and jump jets. So
okay.
Unless there's something he can do to help with moving stuff, because I don't know if that mech's going to be able to move anything as heavy as.
Well, he can move things, but it's not necessarily going to be it's going to be rubble that is not a priority. Like the things that are being moved right now, priority wise, are big chunks of debris that might be blocking or hiding, people or like traffic from moving, or like vehicles that were hit and are being moved to kind of a safer location in case they have they don't have the spare people for EOD at this point, so there could be unexploded ordnance inside that didn't get burnt out. There's a lot of things like that, and that's.
So the good news is that
he
does have a CompCon unit. So what he's actually going to do is he's going to say, Massimo, you do whatever the cleanup crew directs you to do, and he'll jump out and go back to wherever they were stationed, if that building is still there.
The place where the building that was hit and that is now damaged was the kind of area where all the printers were. It looks like the main hangar area wasn't damaged, but it was kind of the it wasn't designed as like the hab kind of section. It was more like the office section of the original building, but was kind of semi-converted into a hab area when you took this place over. That's the building that got hit. So yeah, you're I guess little mid-sized hangar that all the Lancers were kind of holed up in is fine. It was on the opposite side of the base that got hit. So
yeah, he's gonna go back there then and just let Massimo do the work, because it's a CompCon. It's smart enough to follow commands and act independently. So if he needs to call it back, he can, because it's within 50 range of him, I assume, and he has his headset on. So
it'd be a bit more. The base is bigger than 50, but yeah, if you can definitely stay in range if you'd like. But yeah.
He'll stay within range, but he kind of wants some alone time. His helmet's on, which is rare for him outside of his mech, but you can tell he's distracted or thinking about something. He's pulled a chain out from underneath his flight suit or hard suit, whatever you want to call it. I guess it's a flight suit, right?
Well, it depends on what you took as a pilot equipment. Is it a hard suit? It's a stealth suit. That's probably closer to a flight suit than a hard suit.
Yeah, so he pulls a chain out from underneath his flight suit, and he seems to be sort of flicking it between, rubbing it between his fingers while he looks at it.
Okay. Fathead?
Sorry, I should specify. It's a medallion at the end of the chain. He's rubbing, not the chain itself.
Got it.
Did you say it's my turn next?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So Drax is first of all. I actually have a priority list. So priority 1, look to get our mech supplies in order. Make sure that they're okay, that we have them after the attack. Make sure our crews are in place, looking after number 1, because if we're not mission capable, then, we can do all the helping around, but then it's So Drax's priority is to make sure we're squared away. Then he'll step in and look at any way they can assist in the immediate area, namely like sort of in an officer capacity and like maybe like assisting with moving around logistics or whatever. And then finally would be tracking down where Demon's gone to then give him an update on how things have gone and assist as a good EXO should.
Okay. Mech supplies wise, because the building that got hit was the building where the printers were. There's not anybody currently working in that building. It's been, things have been evacuated out. So that would be where mech supplies would be made. I suppose there probably is like a storage shed or some sort of area kind of a little bit away from anywhere people are living in that's been hardened in case there's like a cook-off or something like that of ordnance that's probably still there, I would say. If it did get hit, that would be we'd be doing a much grimmer session today. So I mean, ordnance-wise, things are pretty secure, and all your mechs are still mission capable. You took relatively little damage compared to the first run that Hammer did in their first mission. So that's good. And the other two Lancer teams that were along with you on the op that came back with you were also pretty undamaged. The team that was with you at the police station that actually took part in the assault, they're basically on relatively untouched, while Echo's team took a lot more. They were more actively engaged in kind of a running fight for a protracted period of time, so they're a little bit more, I wouldn't say damaged, but they're a little, they need a little bit of time to like re-up and rearm on a couple of things. But yeah, you can see most of them have left their mechs actually, and they're currently like hands-on with stuff. But yeah, there is theoretically 3+ teams of mechs here that can be in operation. So it's not undefended, along with the rest of the military personnel and non-mech units. Helping wise in an officer capacity, you're looking at like talking like foreman kind of level. We're talking like direction and organization. I'd say that there is a couple of areas that Fathead could provide that, like in the sense of like helping direct resources or working with others who are directing it, kind of everything, and kind of trying to make sure people are communicating what's necessary in different areas and different places where the cleanup and like recovery is happening. Yeah, like the higher level stuff's definitely happening inside the ops center, which is in the like kind of big central building, which you can definitely see people are still in. You haven't seen a single handler out here, or like a good number of the higher level officers. They're not out here. This is like a lot of middle officers, kind of like you, currently directing this. So yeah, that you can provide that, and depending on how long you want to, that you can go and check out, what Demon's up to. And speaking of Demon, what do you do after you deposit the POW and your charges and let everybody go?
I'm gonna go and find whatever resembles command and communication at the moment.
Okay.
Gotta report in the completion of the operation and basically see what they need and where they need it, or if they just want us out of the way.
Right. Well, the op center's still intact and is still inhabited. There's guards at the door, as there normally are. You do get scrutinized probably a little bit more than you were when you went in last time. So they're definitely checking like your, say, probably some sort of pass or credentials that you provide, like your what's the word, biometrics are checked before being allowed in. But once you're inside, it was never quiet in here. There's always a lot going on in direction and like coordination between, even when there wasn't an operation in the city, there was still coordination between the orbital assets and the ground forces. But this is like that. Probably thought that was like a 7 before. That's been downgraded to like a 4, and now they're at like a 9 in terms of like the amount of stuff that's going on and people like just not even just actively at their stations working, but also like moving between stations and getting like face-to-face like confirmation of stuff. And like there are people like not just sending messages over like internal comms or anything like that, but also like writing things down and taking notes and stuff like that. Like they're being much more like things are a bit more urgent in direction. And I'd say I'm not even gonna make you roll for it, but you definitely get the sense that one of the big things that's happening right now is there's a call to bring in vehicle or like shuttles down in that, you know, kind of crazy deep descent profile that you're kind of forced to use right now, and trying to quicken that up as much as possible to try and get like critical wounded up to Renown or Piece of 8, the two carriers in orbit. But yeah, you're directed in, or you're allowed in. You're kind of directed towards the handler area, actually, and you see Juliet Reyes working, actually, which is surprising because she is your handler, but apparently it looks like she's been directed to help handle other things as well. But yeah, you see her and she kind of offloads some of her work to others to go and take your kind of like quick and dirty debrief right now. And yeah, she looks pretty stressed, which is probably why her messages to you were very clipped and short on the way back than normal. Yeah, she double checks like where all of the POWs are now, what happened to the one that you at the actual POW took, making sure everybody's back at base, that kind of thing. Anything that wasn't in any of the comms directed towards her, what happened, just again, like very quick. So is there anything like extra you want to add to like that kind of report or anything?
No, not really. I mean, we kind of kept her in the loop all the way through, so.
Yeah. No, yeah, she does thank you for that. So, but you can definitely see she's busy. She's busy, and it's probably funny enough you realize the fact that not only is she busy, but the fact that they sent you to her instead of somebody up higher kind of gives you an idea of just the busyness, like load going on right now. So this was the person they thought was free enough to help you.
Where do you need
to? Yeah, after about 5 minutes of that, you ask that, and she looks wherever you can help. I'm assuming Padre's already in the medical tent. All right, that's good. They might need some mechs to move some things, but they've already got plenty of that now with the 3 units that were in for repairs. And I'm assuming at least some of you have all kind of gone towards that. Just extra hands. There's a effort in the engineering building to try and check and clear each of the rooms that were on the hit side. And I think the base command, the base security is asking for combat-capable volunteers to help with patrol around the immediate area. when the next patrol is due in, because it's kind of hell getting everybody together and making sure everybody's in the correct position at this point. I'd also
Alright. I can get Ursa
for sure.
on the clearing of the brooms. He's got reaching training, so, and I'll give you a Reaper, Fathead, and myself on combat patrol if you need us.
That'll work. I'll pass that up the chain. Make sure you warn everybody. There's probably going to be unannounced and quick interval descent flights, so keep some ear pro on as much as possible.
All right, I'll leave you to it. You look busy.
Yeah. she immediately goes back and puts on, again, handlers have kind of the same control helmet that you Lancers use, but it's a variant with a lot of C3 kind of extra bits put onto it. And so she immediately goes back to there and she's back on the interface and working.
Hammer team, listen up. Keep your headgear on. They've got high speed insertions coming in, so sonic booms are going to be going off. Banner, Padre, stay where you are. Keep doing what you're doing. Ursa, need you to go to the ops building. They're clearing building rooms for survivors. Something really good that you can do. Breaching.
Okay.
Reaper, Fathead, you're with me. We're going to be doing combat patrols around the base.
Copy.
All right. And so you do. Can I get, I'm going to say, we're just going to do some rolls here, just one to get us back into rolling dice, and two, also just check and see how things go. So for the, I guess, medical pair right now, can I just get some grit rolls? Let's say just one each.
With level 2 grit.
Mm-hmm.
Would mages?
I was going to say, can I use patch?
To get an accuracy on this?
Well, it's good. So patch is apply medical knowledge to medicate or diagnose.
Oh yeah, sure. If it's got a better bonus to you.
Oh, it's a +6. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Oh, my patch is better than my grit as well.
Okay, you can also do that.
I rolled a patch like 24 minutes ago, which was just my. So what that was as well, that was what Padre did was he has self-done a blood, like he's got a blood bag that he's then just duct taped to his arm that's filling while he's working.
Okay, that's safe.
That's not safe.
It's not safe at all. But,
Cut to 40 minutes later when he's moving a little slower, the bag is full, and he's like patting it, it's just transferring back and forth.
Yeah, it's but it's one of those things of it doesn't look good, but it's one of those things of he's done this before somewhere.
It's less that and the fact that you're useless after you give him blood. Ask me your rival.
Nah,
This is
fine.
true.
That's very personal. That's a very person to person. Some people can actually just kind of like go right back into it after they.
Some people
give
can
blood.
just tech it and just walk away. You know?
Yeah, it's. I don't know how, but they can. I've known most people.
It depends on the day for me. If I'm giving it on a bad day, it can drain me. On good days, I'm like, whatever.
Yeah. But okay. Yeah. So I'll count the one you just rolled as the one that we're doing that for. I'll say the fact that you got above a 10 on the blood check means you didn't kill anybody or pass out.
Well, yeah, no, that was going to be the thing. Is like I did it as a thing of like, if it's lower than a 10, I'm gonna have been sat down in a corner because I needed a biscuit. You know.
Yeah, you'll have one of the nutrition cubes. It's you'll have one of those.
Biscuit in a squad.
You have a chocolate bar the Reaper gave you. You forgot about that.
That's true.
It's true for the sugar.
If you need tea, there is nutrition cube tea and nutrition cube milk, so you can kind of just basically cut them in half.
So milk has the exclamation mark. Does tea have a question mark? Like,
I'll get back.
Tea?
I don't know. I don't know. I think the only things that have that is there's burrito exclamation mark, beef exclamation mark, milk exclamation mark.
And then there's coffee with a tilde at the end.
No, there's coffee. There's instant coffee, black.
I would like tea to have a question mark, and it just has the subtitle was, "We think this is the tea flavor."
And then the other tea.
He's been extinct for 1,000 years.
Yeah, and then there's instant tea, black. So it's not good tea; it's instant tea. Is the taste? Yeah, it's black tea. That's
so
what I'm
far
saying.
in the
You
future
can cut
now
up some milk.
that the language is broken down to such a degree that people just remember it as tea, but it's just the letter.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck! I want to change that on this menu now. It's just that's the thing. Capital T in italics. it's just quite quotation mark. Fuck, that's good. I don't know about that one. I might
feel
add to
pain
this.
as an English person.
Yeah, I might add to this because it's only 50 menu options currently within this choice. Let's go for 100. That's the thing. We need to find really shitty choices and add to this.
Things should not go together.
I will submit a very, very like divisive flavor. Two very divisive flavor. You got to have something Marmite related.
Yeah.
That's already there.
Okay, and then Bovril.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Which is a
It's like an oxtail soup, right, or something.
it's basically drinking gravy.
Yeah.
I was gonna say.
that makes me viscerally angry. Yes, I hear that.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
God, yeah,
So
it's bad.
imagine instant coffee but gravy flavor. That's Bovril.
That's a thing. Oh God,
Yeah.
I don't
It's not good.
know that exists.
It's not good.
No, that doesn't. Yeah, the
Bovril
Marmite one
granules
is.
on toast though.
Yeah,
It's a
the
vibe.
Marmite thing in this is menu option 29, chickpea curry and Marmite.
I don't think those two things go together. Especially if the rules of consistency is a thing, because Marmite is like a jelly.
Yeah, yeah, the rules of
Jelly
consistency
paste.
are a thing.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
No,
so,
that's like. I feel like there has to be one that's like the complete breakfast, and it's like biscuits and gravy, scrambled eggs, and bacon.
You're giving me
And
ideas.
waffles.
You don't want to force this on
Who's-
your
yeah,
characters.
who's breakfast?
No, I embrace this madness because as we've been able to, Ursa is just a dumpster for food. Like he does not
Food
care.
gremlin.
Also,
So-
the thing is as well, also you got to take on like which version of pizza makes up the combination of
Yeah.
pizza. Because if you go for like proper pizza, it's one thing. And if you go with Chicago pizza, it's another thing. Because like
I think with the
sauce to
whole
cheese
one here,
ratio-
It's
I
different
don't think it
again.
matters.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, with the yeah, back to the game.
Mm-hmm.
For anybody new joining us, that's pretty normal for us.
I almost crit.
Yeah. Cool. Which does balance out. So Spanner, you're you're fine. Like you haven't like killed anybody, but you definitely haven't done anything amazing. You've had a neutral impact on the current scene.
I feel like I'm helping, and that's the important bit.
Exactly. That is the important bit. Padre, on the other hand, with a 19 on their roll, which still somehow is pretty low for a +6. It feels like.
Welcome to my
Yeah.
rolls.
Yeah. You actually helped quite a bit. That blood bag you made earlier is used almost immediately. It's fresh, like full, it's fresh blood. So it's not even like, refrigerated or anything like that. But it's like it's the best it can be for what blood type it is, and they get it to somebody pretty quick.
Yeah.
And yes, you want to say?
I was
something,
gonna
right?
just say. I was gonna say as well. So for this entire time, Padre's been wearing like a very, very like thick jumper, like over covering his arms and covering his like titles. Probably, I think. What Spanner will see if she sees Padre with the blood pack over, because his arm will be like the sleeve will be like, you'll see like a thick sleeve of full body tattoo.
Is it all Is it all what I
Is
think
it all
is? It's
Reeves?
just scene.
Yeah.
Is it all Keanu Reeves like scenes from movies just up your
Some
just
of
the
it,
full capsule?
but like so.
There's a
the
meme
way-
there.
so-
There's the sad
so-
Keanu meme.
No, so what you see is just like it ringed in like really like almost like gothic lettering, and you just see "You're amazing," like surrounded by barbed wire, and like you see also this is like it's like, but it's like really gritty as well. So you see like crossed pistols, bullets, like really like heavy, and it's like you're looking at like a very late 40s physically man with just these thick full body tattoos that
There's
weren't
like one
visible
up here
before.
that's just, like, written
Because you
down
can see
in,
most
like,
of it,
Gothic
but it's like
print.
you get the impression that it doesn't stop there.
Yeah. There's definitely like a be excellent or whatever like that down.
Be excellent. Yeah, that's good too. That is good. There was definitely memes. There was definitely memes that survived the calamity or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. Yeah. Yeah, Padre subscribes to the belief of the One, which is a religion that came about from the I guess very disconnected works of Keanu Reeves surviving and then somehow being also mixed up and confused for Jesus. So
Yeah.
That one scene from the SpongeBob movie he was in kind of made it a bit easier.
Yeah, so yeah, that's the One. But you see that, and I was gonna say, you the blood bag worked and everything, and you've also helped quite a bit with your general medical knowledge in like triage and kind of minor aid. You've helped clear up a lot of people that needed not super in-depth medical care, but were like people that had like a dislocated shoulder or something that in and of itself is basically something that lays you out, but once it's fixed, it's kind of it hurts
Fine.
like it hurts a lot, but then it's fine. So a lot of those helping kind of like put splints on slings, that kind of thing, just going around, and you're pretty efficient at it actually. You help a lot, so and say that's a point in the base's favor for certain things.
Banner raises an eyebrow, but she's seen weirder.
It's just very juxtaposing from this very quiet, very like normal, very
Bookish.
covered, looking guy to just be like essentially full biker tattoos.
Yeah, that's
I've
true.
seen that before.
Yeah.
It's not all that weird, but I suppose I live in a very different world.
No, I've seen it before. I have.
It's not
but-
that uncommon.
No. Your
will say-
doctor is actively like full body suit,
Yeah, less in the medical
Honest-
profession, I will say. I think.
Yeah, I will say that
Oh,
if
no,
I had a
I've known-
doctor, that had like full sleeve tattoos, probably trust him more. Honestly.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, fair.
Teenage, yeah.
At least you know they're good with needles.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I will say I haven't noticed a lot of people that wear corrective lenses that are in an aviator frame to have that, like Padre does. It's like the full like Coke
The
bottle.
big, the big.
Yeah. that
Oh,
is a
I
thing.
have my dad in the 80s.
Oh.
But
Nice.
they're coming back into fashion now, aren't
Yeah,
they?
I've seen plenty of people when I was working in optics. People were getting those all the time. They're not out of.
I mean,
fashion,
mullets
really.
are back.
Oh, no.
They
no,
shouldn't be,
the full,
but they are.
The full big ones aren't out of style. No, that's just there's specific frames because I wear that outside for my light sensitivity. I have those
Oh, yeah.
aviators that I wear.
Yeah, I
But
have
yeah.
aviators for work as well, but that's because I kind of really need that all over UV protection.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, that's for my light sensitivity too. I need as much as possible. So, that's the medical kind of crew. Oleg. So yeah, you're kind of directed to help with the recovery effort in the engineering building. Which, as we kind of established, the whole like one side wall, which I probably the eastern wall has just been sheared and there's been a lot of like partial collapse that happened. they need some people to go in and check these areas to make sure, one, that there's not a chance of another another shifting or collapse of a floor or something or a ceiling, and two, to make sure there are no people in them. So do you have any it's been so long since we did narrative thing triggers that might apply to this, or is this going to be a general grit roll for you?
Well, I mean, Oleg is a specialist of breaching, but this is not really a breaching operation. This is like search and rescue, so I don't know if he has anything that would directly apply to that. I think this may just be a raw grit roll.
A raw grit roll? Okay. I will say breaching does kind of come in to this, at least in a
well, there's not really a breaching roll like Oleg has.
No,
assault.
So I'm saying is that it's going to be a grit check, but I will give you an accuracy on it.
Okay.
Because of your background, does kind of, there is some applicable crossover of skill.
Okay, we'll throw that out there. 24.
Shit.
Because I rolled a natural 20.
Oh wow, yeah, you did.
Nice.
Awesome.
The dice will speak to the actions.
Yeah, they do.
Wow.
The dice have decided you're doing good today, son.
Yeah, no, Oleg not only goes in to help, immediately takes over the team and fixes their current inefficiencies to make things easier and quicker. Just understanding the order of operations that needs to happen in confined, possibly hazardous areas to move in and out of tight spaces and that kind of stuff. And
that makes me so happy, considering Oleg's backstory was that he was his team was the third best for the company they worked with. They were third best of 5, very middle of the road. They were
AMS.
No. Well, they were. This is one of Oleg has one tattoo, and it's a crowbar that has the words "Open Up" underneath it because his team name was the Door Knockers.
I love that.
That's good. I like.
I
that
also
a lot.
hate it, but I love it.
No, that's good. So yeah, but middle of the road where you're at is pretty damn good for just
apparently.
Yeah, pretty damn good for the general AMS employee, which is currently at this base. They're probably breaching specialists somewhere, but not here right now. So yeah, you're able to not only kind of fix and make the inefficiencies more efficient and kind of quicken up the pace of this whole process. You also are able to spot a few kind of trouble spots that are going to be an issue soon, like a few ceilings that definitely look like they're very teetering and are probably going to fall at some point with once something shifts or once the building kind of settles at night. That's going to happen. And you even do find a few people that were unable to get out, that were behind, one was a door that was just jammed shut, and Oleg just opened up immediately with that and got that door open, helped them out. And then the other two were just, they're unconscious, relatively minor injuries, but just unconscious, and you're able to find them and kind of direct a team and get them out outside, so where they can be kind of taken care of and make sure they're okay. But generally, you help quite a bit, and it's another point in favor of the base.
Pats on the back all around, and probably finishes it off as saying, "Good work, everyone. Who's hungry? Work up an appetite, yes."
Yeah, everybody's raising their hands, kind of timidly for a second.
Okay, we're going to make some food for people. Really help with morale.
Okay, that'll be your next task that you'll go.
The next task that we're getting to.
Yeah, the next task you do. And the combat team, or kind of the combat patrol team. This one doesn't actually require too much of a roll. This is more of just it was gauging on kind of how much you dedicated to it. And it also kind of came out from the casualties or no casualties that happened from the previous mission with the other teams as well that had active combat mechs that were still viable. So both those things kind of came or become a positive for this show of force, essentially, is what's happening right now. Because the area around the base is clear as it can be right now. It is a green zone, but the higher ups of what you get in contact with, and kind of like somebody that's like, kind of like a captain or a major kind of level, direct you a bit. They want to show the force of AMS, not necessarily just immediately around the base. They also want it kind of in the adjacent built up areas to provide kind of to show that AMS's presence is still here and is still strong. It's not to basically give off the appearance of not being weak or not being wounded, kind of thing, to do that kind of like mental, like kind of mind game. Yeah, with the number of units that are available that are not damaged, and the 3 of you that were dedicated to it, you do that pretty handedly by doing the show of force. But not necessarily even a show of force. That's a wrong word. Just a show of presence, like showing the flag, essentially, outside of the immediate base. So, because definitely there are people like that are in the local area that are civilians that have kind of started coming back over the last couple of like days, and like week after the initial invasion, and they definitely they see you as you go across, your patrol route. But yeah. So, say that the kind of this immediate aftermath happens, and you kind of all finish up these tasks throughout the day, help people out wherever possible. Eventually you get to the time where like Padre, a nurse, just comes out and tells you just get a nap. Like you're you're low on blood and you've been up for a long time.
Yeah, I don't argue.
Yeah,
I'm better with. I'll probably be better to come help if I get some sleep in me.
Yeah. They tell you get some rest, get something to eat, and get a nap or something. They do the same for you, Spanner. After a while, you actually had probably more of a physically demanding job in this kind of medical like situation, going back and forth.
That's why I didn't give blood.
Yeah. So back and forth, going to storage, picking up things that are needed and bringing it back out. So yeah, you're not dead on your feet, but yeah, you're feeling it. And eventually somebody like tells you to go take a break and like come back with a fresh start at some point.
Is it dark? What's the weather like?
Yeah, I'd say it's night by the time this starts happening. Just going through this, like all this, so it is the end of day. Say not long after the end, after last daylight. So probably maybe like dark for maybe an hour and a half on the outset.
All right, I'm gonna take my food outside and sit and look at the stars and whatever is happening in the lower atmosphere.
Yeah, and yeah, that is a thing as well throughout the day. Is Demon did tell you to keep your ear pro on as much as possible, and yeah, that was good advice, because previous to this day, the amount of flights going from ground to orbit or orbit to ground has been probably 1, maybe 2. On like a really like a urgent mission or an urgent like delivery. Since you arrived at base and started helping, there's been at least 5 of those flights that have happened, of just these, like, as soon as a pad is open after something takes off and they make sure that it is like clear and ready for another ship to come down, a ship is coming down. Like, so the turnaround time is very quick on these. So the amount of sonic booms that are happening as they kind of like, you know, that deep insertion pattern, very much, you know, right over your heads, breaking the sound barrier, and then, you know, all that kind of stuff it's pretty constant. It's at a pretty good tick that goes through. And as that does help with the medical issues, as well as some of the issues with the base and kind of cleanup effort, because the flights that are coming down aren't empty. There's more personnel and there's more equipment that is being brought down and unloaded. So you've got like construction equipment that is being brought down, like to supplement things that have been destroyed in the attack, or to help kind of quicken the pace of getting a wall kind of back up, that kind of stuff. Say after a couple hours of patrol, again around the same time, the U3 demon, Fathead and Reaper are cycled out with another team that it takes over, and you're told to get some rest and have any free techs look over your machines just to make sure everything's good. And so, you know, as you go in, you see everything's changed in the base, you know, things have been cleaned up, that kind of stuff that have happened. And yeah, Ursa, you did help with food. Like there was obviously there is a mess tent that was set up and had been working, and that's still the case. But they're a bit shorthanded, and so you were able to help with either breaking out rations, or would you say Oleg is Oleg just likes food, or does Oleg also know how to make food he likes? No, he doesn't know how to make it. Okay. Then you're muted. I can't hear you at all.
Okay. No, he is not much of a cook. He is very baseline. Oleg knows how to make a sandwich, but other than that, his ability to cook things is limited to things that basically, even if you fuck it up, it still produces the required, like the desired result.
Mm-hmm.
Is still kind of what he does. Like I imagine he makes like soup and sandwich, and that's pretty much the extent of his skill set.
Okay. Actually, it's a usable skill set. Because when when the structure is broken in terms of like the schedule of the base, things like food can get kind of really screwy in terms of like what can be made and like given out and like for, you know, meals. So sandwiches are actually probably the primary thing that are being handed out right now. And yeah, if Oleg would like to help either prep or prepare that, they will not say no to anybody doing that, because it's either that or they start breaking out the crates of 100 meal cubes that are packed into a cube. So
when you order a crate of those, do you get one of every flavor? Is that just how it works?
No, it's a random grab bag.
Okay.
Just a random grab bag. There could be
you get one that's 50 milk.
Yeah, there could be 50 milks in there. It's not unheard of.
The food is feeling more and more Minecraft.
This might be a bit niche. I don't know how many other people will get this, but it depends how long you've been trolling YouTube algorithm. But when you mentioned about the cubes there, Roach, the first thing that came into my head was Steve from MREinfo.com.
Hey, yeah,
Saying,
that's too.
This is Steve from MREinfo.com. Today we're trying out an Avari Systems meal cube. Let's get this out of the tray.
Nice. Let's get this on a tray. Yeah.
texture really needs some work, and the flavor isn't great. I'd still give it a 3 out of 10, or 3 out of 5.
Yeah. I'm the guy that ate
When it comes
hardtack
to
in
military
the Civil War.
Yeah, when it comes to military food, it's probably not the worst thing on the planet.
I don't know.
You could really taste the wheat in this.
Yeah. So yeah. So yeah, you can help with that, Oleg, and so you do help like that. You help with the sandwiches or just general food stuff. And even if you don't actually help prepare it, you can help with them gathering and getting it all kind of together for the people that are prepping it to more easily get it done. I don't think Oleg would disagree to being directed around a kitchen to do things if necessary. So, and yeah.
Oleg's at his best when someone else is telling him what to do. So yes.
So yeah, that's what happens. And then you finally get to a point where you're feeling it as well. It's been a long day. It's been a long, because you remember you left yesterday, essentially. And so you've been...
I was gonna say, at some point Oleg probably would have if it looks like he was gonna have to be up for a while, he probably would have popped one of his stems to keep him going. Because he does have specifically a set of stems that is called Kick, which is keeps the pilot awake and alert for up to 30 hours.
Roll a grit check for me. We're just gonna see his gauge of time and like kind of like gauge. Okay, yeah, you took it and you're not resting. Because you have a stim, so you can't go to sleep. You got 30 hours before you're down. So that's good luck. So yeah, Oleg figures out something to do. I don't know what, but
there's just like a thing on the back of like the injection needle that's like, do not take additional caffeine supplements when under the influence of this stim.
So that 48-hour energy is 1,000-hour energies.
Yeah.
It's a nanite that produces taurine. Like,
yeah.
That's a really good sci-fi thing. Actually, I like that.
Yeah.
That's terrifying is what that is.
I love it.
Every time it gets pumped around the body, every time it reaches the heart, it releases another load more.
Monster already working on that. You know that, don't you?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
the
monster
turning
and it would be lime green. And it would be lime green as well, just like monster colored.
It's like, the injection, so it's like the ooze from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movies.
That, and also the actual nanites would be lime green. Like you would be able to see them like if you drew the blood and there was one in it, you'd just see this lime green speck.
That's how you get rid of them when you need to cycle them out. It's like, we can tell what they are because they're bright green.
No, they come out in your waist eventually, or no, but they're not an easy pass.
But yeah, so that's what Oleg does for the night. So whatever Oleg decides to spend his time on, whether that's pacing or just like he's got a really good manuscript idea, so he's got to put it down.
I imagine he probably climbs up into the mech and probably just like focuses out towards the city and is just like on that. I'm on watch until I fall asleep. And it's just like hour 4 of waiting for sleep to come, and it does not come, which hits so real for so many people here. I understand.
Oh
yeah, that does. Yeah.
No need to drag us like that, please. Thank you.
I feel called out. So,
I called myself out. I know what that pain is.
I am in this statement, and I don't like it.
I feel like I'm the only one with a sensible sleep schedule here, so you call us all out.
Well, in Utari's case, it's not really his fault. He had a kid. You know?
That's true.
Well,
I'm in the process of fixing mine. Thank you.
Yeah,
it was totally better before you had your kid.
I've been in the process of fixing yours, Mitch, since I first met you.
I have seen most of the mornings this year. It's great.
And that
You're
means
gonna fall off the wagon, and it's gonna be hard, Midge.
Wait,
It's
hold
gonna
on,
be a
hold
hard
on.
fall.
Just to clarify here, that doesn't mean he's been awake for every morning. It means he's gone to bed and woken up in the morning. Because that is a good distinction to make there, because it's Midge's sleep schedule.
No, I mean woken up in the mornings, like.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. You
Absolutely,
didn't stay awake until the morning.
Oh, yes,
You went to
yes,
bed at a
yeah.
reasonable time and woke up in the morning.
Yeah, because I've seen a lot of mornings, but I've been awake for 30 hours when I've seen them. So that's
Yeah.
I don't remember them that much.
Roach produces stim naturally.
Oh God. Ow! I felt that. I felt that in my yeah, my soul.
That's the taurine.
Yeah.
It's the nano working its magic.
Yeah.
So I fucking hate you all.
No, you don't. You love us and you missed us.
I did.
I mean, leave the poor girl alone.
Yeah. Are we 7 minutes? I can't remember. Are we
Yes.
7 minutes from our break? Let's do a little early break just so I can double check on something, and then we'll be
Okay, so join us in 10 minutes' time where we will be back for the second half of this broadcast.
Take two.
No, I don't trust myself to go for a take two. But yes, take this time, grab yourself some drink, and enjoy our featured ads. Hey, come here a minute. Do you need royalty-free music for your TTRPG content, whether that be a YouTube video, stream, TikTok, Instagram post? Don't worry, we've got you covered. My name's Alex. I've been a content creator for almost a decade now, and I've teamed up with my good friend Harry to produce 10 royalty-free songs for you to use in your content completely for free. We've tried to make a whole range of motifs with this album, covering happy music to sad music, to mystery music to combat music. And if this takes off, you know what? We might even make some more. So give the Elendor Chronicles soundtrack Volume 1 a shot. It's free to stream everywhere, and if you want the high quality downloads, you can come over to our Patreon and download them, or you can contact me directly at tabletop@themidgemansworld.co.uk as a creator, and I'll just give it to you for free. That's it, there's no catch, and just to prove it, we've also given you guys a user license agreement to prove that you have the complete perpetual rights to use this content. So enjoy, and good luck on your next adventure. Oh, good day. I'm Martin Sanderson, and I'm the CEO of Avari Military Solutions. We here at Avari know that it doesn't take much to cause problems out on the frontier, whether that be from local pirate raids, neighboring interstellar powers, or even just an unhappy populace with unreasonable demands. Just what is a small to mid-sized regional power to do when faced with these problems? You look to Avari for your solutions. With open-ended contracts, well-trained personnel, state-of-the-art aerospace forces, and competitive rates, we stand ready to help find the right solution to your problem. So if you have a problem, why not call Avari for your solution? Our operators are waiting to take your call, and consultations are free of charge.
Avari Military Solutions, a solution for your problem.
Avari Military Solutions is not licensed to operate within the Kark and Dre Baronies, the Andes Corps, or any Class A combat zones. AMS is a subsidiary of Omni Radiance Holdings, a family company.
When is a story more than a story? When a tale is more than words on paper? When is an ad more than the script it's written on? In the darkest and deepest annals of our own history, worlds of wonder and splendor burst through like a blister made of hope. From the brain that's rattled and riddled with madness, a radiant pustule. Writing, art, that's storytelling. That is the true lust of life. You too can dutifully indulge in art. Like fans of the greats, Shakespeare, King, Tolkien, Seuss, Mercer. You too can indulge through Twitch Prime. Get an extended access to a wealth of knowledge with a simple click, an emotion so small that it could endlessly amount possibilities. Embrace those feelings. Support art. Support the Component Cast. back.
Okay. So yes, with everybody kind of winding down from that kind of immediate post attack, just cleanup and organization, you all at different points, but fairly close to each other, meet back up in your own little corner of the Lancer kind of hab area that you've claimed for yourselves to, sleep or just generally rest, with the notable lack of Oleg, as we established, as he's awake for another 30 hours. What can you do? Sometimes you misjudge how long you're going to be up and you take a stim pack and don't realize it.
Listen, the base just came under attack and he was trying to help people. It was like, he's probably going to need to be awake for a while. He didn't realize how long he was going to need to be awake for.
Yeah, that's true.
These things happen.
They do. And yeah, you also, a good number of the Mech battalion is still deployed for Long Pass. But the ones that are at the base are also kind of starting to file in. Not all of them. Some are being kind of held out for a bit and they're kind of cycling through. So you do all see, because you are very close to Thunder, the other team, kind of in your general close proximity, with Echo and Grim. But both of them are still on, actually actively doing stuff. And so you only have their other two members, which is Silver Fox and Poe. But by the time you get in there, they are out, cold, just sleeping. But yeah, eventually everybody kind of drifts off. You get your rest when you can get it. And the next day, you all find yourselves, I'd say, unless you wanted to do something drastically different, you can find yourselves going back to doing the same kind of things. Less hectic. Things have been brought back into some form of order in a couple of cases. The triage tent has been not emptied, but it's been lessened from how full it was previously. There's no people requiring medical attention, direct medical attention, that have gone through triage that are sitting out on the lawn in front of the medical building. They are now in the building or they are up in orbit, because quite a few were evac'd out throughout the day on those flights. And yeah, this kind of goes on for a while, actually, this cycle of your kind of helping out, and every day there being a little bit less to do on your end. Yes, Spanner.
So as the triage tent gets emptier and more stuff comes into the workshop, Spanner is probably going to go back to where she is more comfortable.
Yeah. I'd say if you do volunteer for it, there is duties within kind of the purview of helping fabricate that's needed right now. And I'll say, yeah, Spanner can help out with that. Just kind of help, not rebuild what they can of the building, make sure it's usable again and not in danger of falling apart entirely, or helping get the curtain wall back together, which happens again every day. A little bit more is done, a little bit less is necessary, and also throughout these days, more individuals who were assigned to Operation Long Pass are back at base. Kind of filtering back, but not everybody. Not everybody. There's a lot more of the infantry and other units are being kind of cycled out of the base when they can be, and being kind of put somewhere else. And eventually, I'd say about a week later, after all of this, is when things kind of start getting back to normal. Not necessarily normal, but they get a little closer. There's now not an emergency situation as much. There is a defensive wall back up. Like the actual defenses on the wall are now operational again in that section. The building with the engineering building is now being used. The printers are working again. And through this time, you get information. There's not really a debrief per se. Throughout that week, Demon, Reyes does come to you and just goes over things and double checks. She hasn't had a lot of time to confirm or to go over things, so it's just mostly she's doing a cursory point for point of the mission in a more detailed manner for a report. And she's, because everything's so hectic inside the command building, she's just volunteered. She's going to go ahead and present it, and that's going to just get filed away. And anything that's necessary for you to do can be done, and that's kind of how it goes for a bit. But you do get information. There is a kind of, I guess you'd say, a weekly kind of intelligence brief that does happen, and it gets restarted, where you're kind of updated on what's going on and what's happening. And it's a lot about the base and making sure and kind of informing things are back up and running, or what's not up and running, what's kind of being moved, or what's being kind of not rebuilt. So the artillery pits that were the semi-autonomous artillery guns that were set up for support, those are not being rebuilt. They're just kind of being flattened to put more prefabs down. And the artillery is being moved outside of the FOB to other locations. And eventually you do get updated on the actual status of the city outside, as your team was not directed to aid in anything outside of the base. You've been kind of, again, held back, and you've been being used for internal kind of help and the kind of patrols locally. And just let me this one here, just for map wise. The new I guess control area, the green zone, has been moved. And that's been updated on the map. And so what you get updated on is that Long Pass was a success. Even though it was a diversionary operation, its main objectives were still real. And with your success in the police station, that was apparently a hub of activity and kind of a cross network or cross comm kind of area where things were being coordinated from. And with that now no longer secure and being pulled back from, a lot of things kind of had to also be moved back. So the front lines have moved further back, and truthfully told, enemy presence is mostly around the river banks. They're holding along the river bank to the north, and most of the area they control is on the south. But secure, there hasn't been the areas between the river and the green zone, they haven't been able to be secured yet. There's still intermittent enemy activity. is happening there. The green zone has expanded, and more personnel are being brought down from the ships. And there's been an update in the fact that now there is a small but present corridor to allow orbital flights in without the very sharp descent, the very extreme descent angle. It's still pretty sharp, but it doesn't have to happen right over your heads in the kind of corkscrew descent that was happening previously. You're not updating on any casualties. It's not, they don't necessarily view that as something you need to know, which in a sense, but just, you do check around, like word on the street kind of things. It's not a secret or anything. Not actually too bad in terms of like the combat casualties that were happening outside the base. Inside the base, there were some, but it could have been worse. Apparently, most of the injuries were shrapnel based and not actual direct, impact or anything like that. So looked worse than it was. There's still a lot of people out. This is kind of like a new, you're kind of new normal for a bit. You put in your requisitions for your mechs to be like modified or to your new license levels. And one day, probably around the afternoon, I'm gonna say it's been a full week since you got back. Yes, Spanner?
Sorry, I just wanted to say, in the intervening week, did it rain at all?
A little bit. Not a lot.
Like a
We're
brief
talking
shower?
a sprinkle. Yeah, like a sprinkle kind of bit.
Okay, over the comms, which I assume we all still kind of have on, so Demon can keep a track of everyone. When it starts raining, people will hear Spanner yelp, and she'll run outside and go and stand in the rain. Because she hasn't been on the planet for a while.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to turn. When
Anyway.
you said yelp, I thought you said you were going to be afraid of rain.
Oh no, she grew up on not a desert planet, but like an arid one. So rain is exciting.
Yeah, that's like a once a year kind of thing for it's arid. Yeah. Yeah, no, there's a little sprinkle. It's not particularly dry weather, but it's not the wet season for this hemisphere. But yeah, about a full week later, Demon, you're approached by Juliet. She's carrying around a pad.
Is she looking happy? Serious?
Confused, mixed with concern.
Ah, shit.
Tired?
Oh no.
Oh, she's always tired. She's a handler. Yeah,
It's a natural state of being.
Yeah.
Like, you know how like Padre has like the blood bag on his arm? She has a bag of coffee that's mainlined, just hanging off her shoulder.
Forever have a blood.
Now you do.
I'm not forever transfusing you.
Get it now.
Let's get it out. No, actually, that is a thing. Grace does actually, for some reason, like the Nutrition Cube coffee black, and does trade that for that often, and does munch on that because it does have caffeine content. It's
Reaper's
like
making
must-
bank. Reaper's making bank. He's got a lot of chocolate.
No, coffee. It's coffee black, not.
Oh,
The idea that the only way these guys can get their coffee is in nutrition cubes is probably the most depressing thing I've heard about AMS so far.
Oh no, you can get regular coffee. That is available. She just
Reaper
likes
has
the
regular
cube.
coffee. Reaper has regular coffee.
That's her thing. She just likes the cube version of it.
Freeze. There's probably freeze-dried coffee that's still kicking around at this time period that's been made in our time period because that shit just goes forever.
Yep.
Yep. But yeah, she looks tired, but that's a common thing. But she looks kind of concerned and confused. as she walks
Okay,
up
give
to you.
me my favorite news of the day that we've got a sketchy job to do something even more sketchy.
Actually, not why I'm here, Demon.
Oh, thank God. Okay, in which
yeah.
case, lay it on me.
Right. So I've got the transcripts of the mission, and I like to do like to finalize my own internal kind of reports. It's already been sent up, but it was very it was very rough. But I was reviewing the transcripts, and this also includes file transfers.
Yep.
So I don't have. You passed up a file of a of comms that you intercepted.
One
And there's
second.
one that doesn't.
Spanner to my position ASAP.
Copy.
Spanner got hold of them. She's got copies of everything.
Okay. Well, I assumed, I hoped. That's not the concerning part. I'll wait till she's here.
Probably best. She's the tech.
A couple of minutes go by. Spanner, you appear. And you see Grace and Demon talking.
Might want to try again.
Right. So, you sent up to me a copy of the comm transcripts that you got from your mission. From your last mission. The problem is I don't have a copy of one of those transcripts.
Oh, I thought I sent you everything.
I thought so too. I didn't have a chance to review them in detail at the time, but I do remember there was one that I had received, but it's no longer here. It was the one with the corrupt ident code.
Oh, yeah, sure. Let me just check my pad. It was before Oleg blew it, isn't it?
Yes.
I checked my datapad for the file.
You have a copy of the file.
Okay, shoop.
Okay. Well, I'll take it. It's odd. Normally these are backed up on kind of, this is a company pad, so it's usually backed up. Like the slate is a company slate. It's backed up on their internal network. So I should have copies of everything, but it doesn't exist.
Right, but you had it.
I had it. I know I had it.
Which means either it deleted itself or someone deleted it.
That would be my assessment. That would be my assessment. Yes.
Spanner? Spanner?
Yeah, I'm thinking, Demon. Sorry.
I want you to go and make copies of that file and stick them in each of our mechs.
Mechs and datapads or just mechs?
Just mechs.
Sure. Do you want me to do all the classified
Everything.
files?
In case anything goes missing, we need to make sure Juliet's got backups.
Understood. Do you want them in old and new mechs, so we've got double copies?
Use your best judgment.
Copy. I'll see you later, Grace.
Yeah. See you, Spanner. I'm concerned, Demon. This is just it's an odd twist of everything. And from what I'm seeing here, that makes me more concerned about this file. And the file that she's referring to is the one I think you all assume that the file she's referring to, which is the file with the asterisk file that contains the transcripts between the you assumed NHP and its handlers.
The Jericho one. Did that also
Jericho.
Did the one with the other NHPs talking to one another also get deleted?
That was a part of the whole file.
Yeah.
Essentially, you just tapped into a comm kind of like to comms, and everything was kind of corrupted except for very small bits of information. And those were the 3 bits that you got. the initial conversation, the director and the underling, and then the kind of group chat of usable files. Everything else was alphanumeric gibberish, if you recall.
They're going to put a call out to the Hammer and get them to go to their mech so they can help with any access that Spanner will need.
Demon, can you ask Juliet something?
You're on the comm, yeah?
Did Clyde see any of this?
Clyde, that was the, hold on, it's been a while.
It's the NHP for the ship.
It's the NHP for the ship, yeah. No, Clyde would not. Clyde is not tapped into the FOBS net. Clyde is the NHP for the ship, for the Reproach. So they're not.
Any
they're not
NHP on ground that would see them?
The base does not have one. No. It's currently just using ComCons for like any advanced stuff. It's not really. It's not big enough of a command right now in terms of like its control to warrant something that big, and they're limited in supply.
Okay, and can we figure out who had access to the file?
Grace thinks that over. She would obviously, if we're talking about the one that was on her pad, her slate, it'd be her. And she has higher security clearance than you do, so anybody that's at her security level would have access to her files in the kind of the cloud, like in the net, in the company net. But yeah, be anybody like her level and higher.
Doesn't narrow it down much.
No.
Keep an eye on it. See how long it takes to disappear.
Could do. If Spanner also wants to try and give it a shot to like look over the comm cradle I put it in when I'm not using it, see if there's like been any.
I can practically
tampering?
hear Spanner literally looking like a meerkat right now.
just tap 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 tap. She gets closer.
When you finish your job, Spanner, not before.
Understood, but yeah, no, definitely. If I can help, yeah.
Right.
I'll send it to you when she's finished.
Right. Okay. And yeah, Juliet leaves, taking the new copy of the file.
I go looking for Fathead.
Over the comm. It's real weird, Demon.
What's weird? You're going to have to be a little bit more specific on this one.
People don't delete data. Not properly. It's a problem the age of time.
Yeah, but we sent the file. We still have the file. The file is no longer on the slate, which means it's no longer on the cloud.
Juliet's right though. It's weird.
Yeah, which is why we're backing it up.
Has anyone seen any paper on base?
Paper? Yeah, no, there's paper. Because the Demon saw the kind of admin and kind of control was passing notes and stuff.
Paper don't break.
Yep.
I'm going to make hard copies as well, Demon.
Yeah, copy that. I find Fathead and kind of bring him up to date on what Juliet's just brought to us. Thoughts?
There is only two possibilities here, which is that someone deliberately deleted information, or that someone is it is the data itself that is causing issues in recording or saving because it is corrupted data. But this is outside my particular skills. I'm not a computer engineer.
No, I just wanted an outside opinion, buddy. That's all.
Question: do we have the access to the intranet thing here? You know, Google search.
Oh
No, it would be restricted.
Yeah, you have low level access to like your internal comms, like between like you have email.
I want to just do
and
some
stuff.
Google. Like, I want to just Google search. Like,
Oh, like on the okay, so actually the net, like
yeah. I want
to
to surf the web. I've got
the OmniNet.
Oh yes, that's it. The OmniNet. That's the word. I was
Yeah.
thinking.
I mean, there is a limited connection of the OmniNet. It is filtered through the company, kind of through the company. It's kind of filtered through. You're tapping in through their own kind of like access node, which does mean you kind of are given a very skewed kind of picture of things. A lot
Like
of
going on the internet at work.
yeah.
You don't see everything.
Sure.
Except
Sure.
more dystopian in the sense that there's a lot of new, like a lot of the news.
Because I want to look something up about
posts
Avari.
are like, yeah, a lot of it's like pro Avari stuff, like or like saying, did you know you have a family plan if you've worked for more than 20 years at Avari, like things like that. Just
I want to look up
Relative
if
or
Avari-
real time?
I want to look up if Avari.
Real time,
We are
obviously.
all 20 years. It's real time.
I would like to look up if Avari has any. I don't know if I'll get a result on this, but I want to see if Avari has any shareholdings or holdings in any company that makes NHPs.
well, that's more of a government related thing to Union. It's a very restricted thing because they're not AI. Technically, they're non-human persons. They're extra dimensional beings.
At one point, they would have to have been developed.
That's true. That is true. They are. It's a complex and not well-known process. No, Avari doesn't really have a hand in that. It's just they're part of the whole the ecosystem if they are provided them.
Cool.
On a, on
just
ships
what
need
about?
them.
I was just my alarm bells went off. Have we been sent here because they're recalling a faulty product? It's basically was the line of thought my brain
That
was
or,
going
like,
down.
It's like the whole thing with Cortana, and she's like, and there's like a div, or what's it called, rampancy in Halo,
Yes.
right?
That's the
Rancid.
Halo thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, rampancy after they did 7
NHPs
years.
Yeah, one of the NHPs here is going rampant, and no one's turned it off, or no one's
Well,
like, pressed the button. To
What kind of
reset
thing? But I was wondering if, like, because this used to be in the fold space, we've been sent to retake it, kind of thing. I was like, you know, who's behind the contract? Why are we here? Is it an NHP company that also has shares,
Could be.
etc.?
Who
That's
knows?
why I was like, can I Google any important shareholders of Ari?
Oh, it's definitely not connected that we just happened to arrive here right after that stuff started being sent across the
Mhm.
bandwaves.
Nope. Not at all.
Fortunate planet.
Totally.
Especially because it took us 20 years to get here. I mean, that can't be a coinky dink.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it took you 20 years to arrive here. Well, it's actually been like date wise, it's been close to almost, it's like 45 years since the revolution toppled the government here because it took enough. There was time to whoever was obviously trying to get the contract done had to also arrive back to like an OmniNet tap. So yeah, that's like a thing. But yeah, so they're close. They're close to their like half century like anniversary in this planet for their republic. You're going to say something like?
I was trying to do the math on that because you said it took them. Obviously, the update on whether or not the Republic was declared wasn't aware until the people who came here and gave it to them got back. Does that mean that they've only been independent for 5 years?
No, they would have been independent. They gained their independence through a revolution that toppled the monarchy here. Monarchy then left, according to the story and the what you've kind of gathered from here. You've been hired by the monarchy to retake the planet for them. That they were overthrown, and then when they had to arrive back into some sort of OmniNet tap, which is about a 2-year trip to the nearest kind of cluster of worlds, and because of near light travel, it's 2 years near light, which is 20 years outside of that. So it took them 20 years to get to that tap, to then put out the contract. Contract was signed and everything like that. And then Avari sent you out, which took you 2 years of near light to get here, which is another 20 years. So it's been 40 years and change since that happened. Remember, as you go into near light, you experience
No. I got my head on that. I was trying. The time frame seemed like it wasn't adding up though. For some reason in my sleep deprived brain, because it seemed like it's like, okay, if it was 45 years and it's 20 years for them to get anywhere and 20 years for us to get here, then that seemed like that left a 5-year window for this to have all gone down. Is basically what my brain was trying to make sense of. But that's looking at the
5
years
years
in the
more
wrong
just
direction.
accounting. Yeah. And the 5 years is more just accounting for the fact that it takes a long time to negotiate contracts and stuff like that. So what do you got to do? So yeah. It's been a while since they've gained that. So they're close to their 50-year mark of independence. That's why they've had this kind of, more capabilities than you were expecting coming in, and they're much more entrenched than like a fresh coup, would look like. They have their own military, like uniform military. It's organized, so that's a thing. But yeah, if you're checking online, like on the OmniNet, Padre, you don't really get anything that looks to get that. You do get a message talking about the upcoming birthday of the company's current CEO, and that's a thing. With the option of donating 1% of your monthly income as a gift.
Is there a decline?
Oh yeah, it's not a requirement. Okay. It's not a requirement, but I mean, it would be logged. So who knows?
Decline.
I'm not looking to get promoted. It's fine.
I'm telling you, Vari's not the good guys.
No, actually, I guess to be more spiteful, to just ignore the message. Just scroll past the message and just pretend you didn't see it.
Get a new data pad. Is that what you're saying? I feel like it's one of those ones you can't clear until... Yeah, no, sorry, you can't move the screen until you clear it. So I think it's just get a new data.
Just gotta put it in a corner and just like leave it up on the... Like you can just move the window so it's always there, but it's off in the corner.
Yep.
Restart it without a connection to the OmniNet, so it can't come back up again.
I'll have to calculate what the chances are they might affect my promotion prospects depending on which option I choose. Ignore it or actually pay.
That's... You go ahead, you copy all of the necessary files to the various mechs that you wish to.
And I make hard copies.
And you make hard copies of those that you can keep on your person or store it somewhere else. And then, whenever you want to, you can go to Juliet's, kind of where she keeps her slate when she is not actively using it, for just to check and see if there's been any like malicious intrusions or anything like that. To do that, you have to actually go to some place you've never been before, which is kind of like the handlers area, because they're not shacked up where all you are shacked up. They're shacked up in kind of the ops, like in an admin building. And so, definitely not been there before, but when you do enter, I mean, it looks kind of nicer than where you're holed up because it's dedicated Nahab area, so they actually have like beds, like laid out and everything, and like actual desks for like work and all that kind of stuff for their off hours. So that's a thing. But yeah, Grace takes you and shows you to where hers is and everything, and you can. While you're checking that, yeah, you just see other handlers kind of milling about, hanging around. Some doing work, some not. See, like right across from where she's at, there's a handler working on. Yeah, you'd be aware of it. It's a little. It's called a parakeet. It's a little kind of autonomous drone. And they're about that size. Like they're very tiny. And yeah, essentially they're just a semi-autonomous recon drone that they network. So the more of them you have together, the more powerful the reconnaissance and like strength of their computational capabilities becomes. Everything they're used by everybody as all the handlers have them.
Okay, so what am I rolling? Am I because I got two that I could use. I could use hack fix, which means that if there is a problem, then I could sort of fix it or take off the bug. Or I've got investigate, which is just purely find the problem.
I'll say hack or fix if you're trying to find, like, if something malicious happened. So you connect your slate up to then start running through and seeing if there's anything issues with that.
Does the kind and generous DM fancy giving me an accuracy?
I'm being buttered up. I'm okay with that. Sure.
She's looking real pretty today, I'm just going to say.
Bribery works, folks.
Just ask your local government elected officials.
Government official, yeah, exactly.
Sure, you can get an accuracy.
Ask your local elected official at your local games master. Bribery works.
I needed it as well, 15.
15? Cool. So you access Juliet's slate, and kind of it's the cradle that it charges and kind of connects and does all of its updates and syncing with and everything. And yeah, you do find an unknown kind of I guess access tag. Like it like somebody has gone in and has accessed this, but it's not like all the others, because others do access this, like people that are having to get her debriefs or copies of her files or something like that will go in, but they have like an actual like network tag that like associates them. If they're another handle, it'll be like their 3-digit moniker, or if it's like somebody else, it'll be like first letter, first name, then last name kind of thing. This one's just kind of an unknown.
You were hacked.
Well, I could have assumed that, but it's good to know.
It might have been when I sent you the files up, but it's because that would have been the transfer that they would have been tracing rather than the initial transfer from the comms tower to me.
Well, this network isn't this is an intranet. This is an internal network that then connects out through a connection with a ship above us. There's no connection with anything here dirt side. It'd have to be internal, or they'd have to get in the base if it was some
Where's the captured dude?
Oh, he was taken up he was taken up into orbit, probably like not early, like a couple of days later, when it wasn't as an emergency, but they needed, they had an extra space or two on a bird.
Might need to inform Sunshine there might be
a what? Sorry, you did not
Mole.
Mole. Okay.
Although it's odd that they came straight for yours.
It's the only thing missing, as far as I can tell. None of my other case files, op plans, intel. It's all still here. As far as I can tell, it hasn't been touched or modified.
Roach, is there a way that Spanner could use the tag and sort of backtrack and find out where or when it happened?
Make another check. No advantage or no accuracy. It's flat check.
But you're so pretty today.
It's not how. No, you get one.
You get one bribe every session. And that's
yeah,
it.
you get one.
Ooh, 16.
16. Okay, cool. All right. It's not a full success for this, but it is a partial. I'm giving you. So you backtrack as far as you can, like looking basically connection through Juliet's tablet or slate, and you're going through your slate to connect and trying to figure out where everything leads to. And really, it's very hard to find those fingerprints going through. But you do gain surface level access to the Avari intranet at the kind of access level that Juliet is, at least partial. Which, if you look at the journal entry now, you don't get any files, but you definitely get file structures. Directories. And for all of those listening or do not see this, there is now an entire internal network directory that is available to our hacker. No files exist, unfortunately, that you can get, but you get the directories.
Where do I see those?
Should be in the journal. I did configure ownership, and you should have gotten it, but I will manually switch it over by hand, each individual person. Should be available.
Sorry, I'm not seeing it.
Does anyone else see it, or am I?
I don't see it either.
Okay.
I've seen enemy communications log and operations, and then the manual for the Everest, and then my contract. Which, by the way, Roach did in fact write up contracts for our characters, so.
Yep.
And
Wrote
a
up the
full technical
contracts.
manual for the Everest.
Yeah, a full technical manual, which is, I don't know how many pages that works out to, but it's several thousand words. I couldn't sleep.
Midge, just check Juku General.
I guess maybe I'm going to have to just do this manually until I can figure out how to transfer this. I know somebody in chat is an expert on Foundry. But I don't know if I can...
If it's not under the enemy communicate, if it's a different file altogether, I can't see it.
Yeah, I think it is. Well, it is a different file, so that's...
Do they... Are the ones with the eye symbols next to them?
No. It's a different thing. I will share a screenshot in general, just so you have some sort of actual.
You can plop it into the handouts chat.
Could. Actually, that's a thing.
Ooh.
Oh, okay. Hmm.
Handouts in the Tuesday crew.
Yeah.
Right, so what we're seeing here, it literally just looks like an internal like folder directory. There's the MS
Yep.
internal network, and then there's HR and administration, operations, intelligence and analysis, research and development, communications, legal and compliance, the financial department, IT and cybersecurity, medical unit, and then training and development as all the folders.
Yep. There are also subdirectories to all of those. So essentially at this point, it's a guided tour. I was hoping that you could just do it yourself, but yeah, if you want to look inside, you can see further file structures. Again, there's no actual, you can't get the actual direct files, but you can get all of the directory. So basically the folders within folders kind of thing. So each of those does have a sub folders that, who knows?
And that's on Spanner's tab.
Yep, that's available to you now.
Okay.
So think what you want to see, and I can go ahead and take those shots.
Well, what she would do is, rather on the comms, she would sort of type a message out on her tab to Demon. I might have something, boss.
Where are you?
Still with Juliet. I'll be back soon.
No, I'm on my way. I would also call Fathead.
Yep.
Who seems to have disappeared.
Well, yeah.
He gone bed.
Unfortunately, the player that plays Fathead needed to sleep.
Okay. Fathead is here. T-posing
Fathead
right next to me.
Yes. Yes, Fathead is here. Okay. Just gonna check something here. Ownership. Server. Do you see it now?
I see it now.
Yeah, I see it
Okay.
too.
Is it the act? Do you see everything, or do you just
No,
see
I see
test?
test.
Yes.
Okay, so I think there needs to be actual. I think I need to go ahead and put one of those into every single one of these subfolders for you to see them. Because I can't reveal to you other things inside there because you haven't gotten access to that yet. That was the mini game. Cool. Cool. I thought I'd trick this out. Thought I knew it. Awesome.
Roach, Red appreciates you giving me puzzles.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, what do you want to do with this?
Okay, so once Demon gets there, it looks like Juliet's been hacked.
Oh, that was obvious.
Well, yes, but it's got to be either someone who can connect to our network or someone actually inside the base. Or on the ship.
Thought you said that the ship didn't have connection to the ground.
It has a connection to basically the base has its internal net, and then that connects through the OmniNet through the ship. Essentially, the ship's being the conduit there, so it's cycling through that. So the ship has a hardened connection, and then that connection is a limited connection to the base that you tap into.
And this isn't something that could be because the file deleted itself or something like that.
No, I can see the trace whether it's been deleted. If you want me to come to
No.
see Sunshine with you, but
Oh, let's keep it quiet. Juliet, with your okay, I'm going to call Sunshine.
Whatever you think is necessary, I'll back you on it.
Sunshine Demon, you copy?
Go ahead.
Can you meet me at Juliet's desk?
I'm assuming you mean Lieutenant Reyes?
Gracie, yeah.
Give me 10.
Copy. Spanner, double check your work.
I double check my work and have a sneaky peek in the folders, which I will wait until next week to have a look in the directories.
Check now. Do you see at least some of them?
Oh.
I think I figured.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, I've had to place individual test documents into each of those subfolders. So you've got some of them. I've only done one so far, but I can target that what you want, and I can make that it's a lot easier. So,
Oh, I really like test copy.
shut the fuck
And
up.
test copy is even better.
I hate you so much right now.
I would particularly like IT and cybersecurity, research and development, and operations, and intelligence and analysis.
So yes, you want yes? That's half the list.
We'll take
Red.
all.
I would like all of them.
Red priority order. Let's start with number 1. For the sanity of the
Meanie.
podcast.
Roach.
Yeah.
I will take everything for 1,000, please, Alex.
When I am in your presence again, I will hit you.
You know what? I'm fine with
That's
this.
not an idle threat. You know that.
Yeah, I know.
I'm cool with all this. This seems like a great time. I'm fine with this.
I would take intelligence and analysis first, please.
Right. Cool. Intelligence and analysis. That should already be done. And again, like I said, you don't get any individual files, but you get the directory.
I know. That's fine. IT and cybersecurity next, given what we know has just happened.
Right. I want to go back in time and just slap past Roach so much. It's like, yeah, no, this will be a cool little, like, Dianetic storytelling. It's going to be...
I appreciate it. I realize it didn't work first time. But
Should be done now.
right, that's enough for me. I can look at the rest next week.
Let's leave that for everything else until we give Roach a chance to get everything put on for next week.
Yeah.
I'm already more than halfway done, so if you did, like...
No.
we're good.
Let's just
Right.
We've got story to do, and you've got enough on your plate right now.
Mhm.
Look, I'm being nice.
Yeah.
That's a rare thing to hear.
Only for people who are related to me.
Oh. Good thing I'm not related to you then.
That's right, son.
Yep. Yes, Dad.
So, yeah. After about 10 minutes, Sunshine and her, like, black makeup clad self arrives at where you're all standing, and is just kind of waiting. Yes, you needed something.
How can I put this? Remember those files we managed to get our mitts on during backspin?
I don't acquaint myself with every line of your debrief documents, so I seem to
Okay,
recall
we managed to.
something.
Yeah, we managed to get our grubby little mitts onto a comms relay.
Right.
And
I do
downloaded.
remember that.
We downloaded a number of files being transferred through that relay before we blew it to act as a distraction for our breach on the police station.
Right.
In doing so, we found a number of documents that were corrupted or encrypted. Those have since disappeared off the main server. It seems, according to Spanner, we've been hacked and only those files have been removed.
Right. Okay.
Now, it's not a remote access. It's been done either on the ship, in orbit, or down here.
So I would be very surprised if it was remote.
Do you want the good news?
Sure. I'll take the good news.
We still have the files.
It's good. That is very good to hear. Well, if you have copies of the files, keep them. I'll have to pass this up. See if we can get some of the IT professionals down from orbit to look over the network. See if we can find any fingerprints of who did this. I'll need a copy of the files personally as well in question.
I'll pull out the hard copies. Can't hack these ones.
That's how quaint. All right. I'll take these and I'll keep them on my person. I'll also requisition you, Reyes, a new slate and cradle, in case there's something compromised about this one specifically. I'll order a rotation of all of our internal passcodes, and we'll see if we can find anything. Try and keep this on the down low. Whoever did this might still be here, and if they have been, then we don't want them to know that we know.
Copy that.
Good. Thank you for informing me of this. And she gives you a curt nod and leaves in her kind of, general tone, which you've come to recognize as kind of her normal.
That's everything, boss.
All right, make sure all the additional copies are safely secured.
I will, and I'll make additional hard copies just in case.
Good idea. Juliet, you need me for anything else?
No. This was just something that came up. I just needed to make sure. I needed to make sure. I wanted to know if this was an only me thing, or if this was all these copies, or if we knew what happened. So at least we got some answers.
Well, you've got that one on the system now, right? I'd keep an eye on it.
I will. We'll keep an eye on it. It's I won't lie, it's content, and then this happening makes me somewhat
worried.
A little bit. But we'll see how it goes. Thank you for taking a look, Spanner.
Oh, you're welcome. This used to be my job.
Right.
Well, actually, no, it never was my job. It was always a hobby.
Mm.
All right, we'll leave you to it then. You know where we are?
Yep.
And as we wander away, Demon Fathead,
Yeah.
I might have dug a little bit too deep.
Spanner, why are you saying this over an open comm?
I'm not. I'm saying it in real life to the two of you.
Oh yeah, Fathead's with us, isn't he?
Yes, and it is with you.
He's T-posing, I forgot.
Yep. Currently half emerged into a wall.
Spanner, stop talking till we get outside.
Also, you have access to the full file structure now.
Yeah, let's get full fire structure. Woo!
Thank you, Roach.
Glad somebody appreciates what I go through.
I wooed. What more do you want? There was much wooing there.
And yeah, just gonna share this little like bit of I guess this new mini game or something for you. During your downtime, you can choose to forgo doing one of the other downtime activities to kind of get deeper into the internal network of Avari.
By which you mean Red can do that.
That's what I was specifically saying, yes. That's what something Spanner can do, or anybody else who has sufficiently high kind of tech skills.
Well, I'll put Oleg right on that.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, Oleg,
yeah,
we need you to defrag these hard drives. Pull that frag grenade.
Not that!
I can get into anything. Just give me crowbar.
Yeah.
Yeah, depending on how good, basically it's going to be similar to the roles that you have to do for other downtime mechanics. We'll go into it in detail when we get to specifically the downtime, which will be at the end of this session, and so you can all think about it over a week. But just remember, you'll either be able to do that or the actual downtime, and the only thing you'll get out of this is the files within this network. You won't get any like other benefits depending on what the files might have something you could use, but yeah, that's the thing available to you now.
You said I can give me a crowbar, I can get into anything. You know what went into my head then? Like
a crowbar?
No. Zoolander. It's in the computer. Oh, it's
sure.
in the computer.
And then Gordon Freeman comes out of nowhere with the crowbar. Bang.
They're inside the computer.
Gordon Freeman, the only person to ever get through MIT through vague gestures and a crowbar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should all aspire to be Gordon Freeman.
Yep.
Gordon Freeman just built different, though.
He is just built different.
Yeah, he is. He's built wrong.
Built incorrectly.
Yeah. So yeah, you have access to that. You have access to the base level file structure, and if you want to dive deeper, let me know for the downtime. So I'm guessing you're going to want to do that all the time.
Give me the lore. Give me all the lore. Give me all the lore all the time.
I appreciate that.
Mainline that shit. Just all right.
Yeah, right into the veins, right there. But yeah, so you've received that hard copies, and the other copies have been distributed as they go. And yeah, your mechs are being worked on. Your new license levels implemented. The new, the printers are working. You're not necessarily the tip-top priority right now, but you are pretty high up there, as Lancers are to be. But the base is being, actively worked on. So they need everything they can get. But word starts kind of coming around about the front continuing to move as the days go by. The front line continues to be pushed forward through small unit actions, or at least the green zone pushed forward through small unit actions from Avari troops, until a good portion of the north side of the city, north of the river side of the city, is under Avari control. And the word on the street is that the fob is going to be not the only location Avari has a presence going forward. And people are going to be starting to shift to this other location, and things are going to be split or moved around. Ships are coming more often. You even get some actual news from orbit and the current, like the ships in system, as they seem to have finished most of what they were previously doing, going and trying to hunt down as many of the, as much as the Tanam Republic Navy as they could. And now have returned to actually the orbit that they were supposed to be in and holding an actual kind of defensive screen in orbit, which makes things a lot easier on all of you, truth be told. And essentially during this time is your downtime. And we'll go over to what you specifically did, give you some time to actually work it out, and then we can kind of go over the effects of that next session. But after about 2 weeks after the attack, you are brought in for a mission brief. And you're all kind of, it's only you as a team, it's only Hammer Group is brought in.
Well, that's interesting on its own.
Yeah, that's yeah, and you're all kind of past a I don't have it right now. I was in the midst of writing it when my photophobia hit and I couldn't write it anymore. So I can give you the download. I can give you the basics of it, and I'll give it to you later on this week when I finish the actual op rod to its fullest. But you're given a document that's labeled Operation Just Desserts. And essentially what this operation is you are being sent out on a long-range reconnaissance and kill mission. Abbreviated, you're going on a lark.
Yeah.
Gonna do a bit of larking around, a bit of mucking about, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, as opposed to going on a LARP mission, you're going on a lark mission.
Well, if it's, wouldn't it be a Larak mission?
Yeah, but lark sounds better and easier to say.
Yeah.
But it's not phonetically correct.
No, but it doesn't have to be.
It doesn't. It's the military. Who gives a shit?
When has
Whatever
military ever
works.
been phonetically correct?
Yeah. Yeah, they're not. So yeah, Operation Just Desserts. You're being sent out on a long-range reconnaissance and kill mission. And the objective is to find the landing strips that the aircraft that bombed the base ended up in, and to essentially negate the possibility of them being used in the future for the same purpose. Specifics can't be ascertained as to the exact positions, only a general location, and orbital strikes or anything like that are kind of prohibited because it is an inhabited planet, and Avari does give a small shit about their public persona. Yeah, a little bit. At least the public face of the company gives a shit. Which limits the options that are available to them for this mission. So you're being sent out basically on your own as a small agile team to deal with this, with only the support of Cat's Eye, the corvette, the reconnaissance corvette that is a part of the task force in system that'll be providing you with more detailed information, as long as with your handler that'll be being connected to you as well to provide aid. As well as, and this is a surprise, again, the same kind of Poindextery intel guy that you encountered before is here in the meeting. And because you notice there is an abbreviated unit that is listed as potential support for the mission, which doesn't, you don't recognize it at all.
This unit, what is it?
Yeah. The unit, like the abbreviation for it, comes out to, hold on, I actually have to open up my thing. There it is. It's the RTA 34 or RTA 34th. And when you ask about that, the intelligence individual kind of speaks up. That would be the Royal Tanam Army 34th Regiment.
And where are they currently?
Currently, they're spread across about 100 square miles of backcountry. If you flip to the back of the dossier, it kind of like guides you. We recently got into contact with the military forces still active from the previous administration that hired us for this contract. It seems they've been working in a semi-dispersed guerrilla campaign for a period of time. They control a small section of the planet's surface and are... now we have been able to contact them and organize potential support outside of the city and our direct supply lines. So you will be linking up with a representative of the 34th and coordinating with them onto the exact locations of the airstrips. As the specific locations, we can't find them. They're well camouflaged and most likely partially underground, at least for the hangars.
Are they aware we're coming?
Yes. A party should be able to contact you in a defined location that is, at this specific moment, is still being finalized, but before you leave will be given to you and is in a very small selection, a very small area. We're trying to figure out the best location for them that they feel comfortable with.
Okay, how far are we going to be traveling before we meet up at least?
You'll be traveling overland about 50 miles. Past that, we're not exactly sure. The range that the aircraft would have landed in is highly varied depending on the specific fuel capacity, or specific fuel load they had at that moment. But we suspect this, and points out to an area, this desert, this arid region, is most likely where they would have ended up. The geological makeup of the area would allow for pretty extensive underground fortifications.
Any high ground in the area?
There are certain mesas that exist here and there.
Okay, we're going to have to recon heavily. Reaper, that's going to be on you.
That's my wheelhouse, boss.
Do we
You
have
also have
any
support of
other... Go on.
Well, you also have support of Cat's Eye in orbit. They have they've been dedicated to recon the area that you'll be heading into, and they'll be able to provide you with fairly high resolution orbital data.
Do we have any information on enemy forces in the possible area of operation?
Our current estimates, and from what we were able to ascertain from the RTA, is a local area defense force is operating there for the Republic military, which is mostly geared towards dealing with the RTA's presence. So a dedicated, well-supplied Lancer unit would hopefully sneak under their radar, and if you are found, you'll be easily able to dispatch what they have available to send against you.
Anyone got any questions? Spanner.
Are the RTA infantry, mobilized infantry, pilots, mix?
Well, the RTA is a insurgency at this point. So their specific makeup is unknown. We've only had limited partial communications.
The
All
way
right,
I
so
view the 31st right now is consider them useless unless they prove otherwise.
pretty much.
Sunshine does the pipe up and goes, yes.
A well-armed, well-meaning militia. Right, okay.
Yep.
So when we go out there, apart from Cat's Eye, we're going to be on our own.
Most
That's
likely.
what you're telling me.
Most likely. We are hoping to have the ports that were taken in the city working once again, and potentially also being able to send out limited air support, but that's not been factored into the plan.
We're on our own. Okay. When do we have to leave?
You have a few days to prepare, to double check all of your equipment, and to ready any other supplies you might need. Prepare for being out for a while, but you will receive at least basic supplies from the RTA. They have promised a minimum of food and water as necessary, and shelter if needed. But for more advanced support, I wouldn't depend on them.
Okay, Spanner, Ursa, you're on mech supplies. If you have any problems with the Quartermaster, let me know.
Copy.
Reaper, we've got the
Sir.
general area. Take a look. Find me scouting locations.
Copy.
And Padre, medical supplies. Again, you have any problems, let me know.
With enough favors, we should be fine.
Excellent. All right, you're all dismissed. Go to it. Wait for them to file out and go, anything I need to know that they weren't supposed to know?
No, it was pretty much all there. I wouldn't
Alright.
depend on the RTA.
I'm not going to.
They're effectively functioning as a warlord in the area they're in, so I wouldn't put much stock in them. They've promised aid, and they still pledge themselves to the monarchy.
Any reason to think that they may turn hostile?
Unlikely. Not directly.
All right, I'll get intel and move on with them. With your permission, I got a team to get ready.
She nods and dismisses you.
FYI, we'll be leaving at night.
She nods. Yeah, you leave. And now you have a few days to prepare and prep for this mission. Yeah. I would normally go into the next bit, but unfortunately, my eyes are hurting right now, and I think we can call it about 20, 30 minutes early from where we're at right now. I need to rest my eyes from the because my notes taking app does not have a dark mode and my eyes hurt, so I need to take a break.
That's fine. Well then, so everybody, thank you so much for watching. I hope we will see you next week for another broadcast of this, but all I've got to do left today is to thank those who have been here. So thank you to Commissar Roach for continuously writing and GMing this campaign. We've also been joined by the wonderful SurelyOnlyMikey, DM Lake, Utari Onzo, RivalzoneGaming, Red Moogle. I've been Midgeman, and this has been the Component Cast with Lancer and our first broadcast of the year. We will see you next time. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.